1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay, we're good.
It's from my neighbor. They call me too.
Oh, really?
They're nice. Also, your things are really hard. They was with the dog over.
John, I hope.
They're making this. I wasn't going to tell you because they're crazy. So it doesn't mean anything.
John, I hope you're on the way in. We got a planning board meeting and need you for a course. Right. Joe had to go to Florida
Yeah, I saw that.
for a family emergency.
Yeah.
And Robbie has three concrete trucks on the mountain.
Ah,
He's got pours going right now,
yeah.
and he only has 4 people.
Yeah.
Only 2 of them know how to do concrete, so he's gonna have to scramble on those.
Okay.
They live in Contested. That's what she.
Did you read the minutes over?
Yeah, I read them on that.
Good morning to you. Joe had a family emergency in Florida and had to go. Robbie had
I was trying
3
to connect to
concrete
the-
trucks on the mountain.
Can we use a phone
What
person?
about John? Is he coming?
And, well, I didn't call John last night.
Do we have a network plug?
Yeah, you're plugged in on there.
Well, I'm plugged into this HDMI. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was trying to connect to the town hall. But it's,
We can pull up something in there.
well, I was going to look at the. Can we use a phone person as a core?
Oh, yeah, you can use the phone as a, yeah, I think so. It's kind of iffy, but you can probably use the phone as a core.
Because I think Joe said he.
Oh, that's connected now.
Yeah.
But
Do you have faith in the other
we might have to reboot that thing, stuff without that day.
Yeah.
To get that one working at least.
Okay.
Hey, whatever time. I'm in a meeting. Whatever time is good for you is good for me. I'll be over the house shortly. Okay, bye.
She said there were 2 other dogs and they were all vicious.
There was one dog. And Joe's daughter had a retriever. Which loves people but hates alcohol. And I told her,
Oh, no.
you
They
suggest.
have nightmares. She's having nightmares because she said that he told her the dog would rip her to pieces.
I was in what?
The dog Max would rip her to pieces. So now they're having nightmares.
I told her that she can hold it on until they want to buy it, so that when we complain, you do it. I said, then if something happens, it's your own problem.
Not getting an answer on John's cell phone, and I couldn't answer on John's home phone. What do you want to do? You want to go over what we got?
Yeah, I mean, we could have an informal meeting, and we'll just have to wait on the recommendation to council, yeah.
Last week, there was someone else in the room, and she was explaining.
Due to a lack of a quorum, we will not be able to have a formal meeting. However, having reviewed, the agenda was very light this morning. We can continue, we can informally review your long-range comprehensive plan. I will tell you, it's been a 2-year program of a lot of hard work by Preston and putting together all the meetings that we had, but we have a plan that is, would be rubber stamped this morning and go on to council. It may wind up being another month unless John walks in the door. In polling, Joe Antonelli had nothing to praise for it. He sent us back messages, said it was, that he didn't have any major corrections. Robbie said the same thing. I had 2 so small, minor, one's a typo and one's taking something from future tense and putting it in past tense. Peter, did you?
No, everything looked right on line.
But lacking the quorum, I don't believe we can pass it, can we?
No.
Tamara? Or move it forward to,
Yeah, your recommendation needs,
what we can do is, rather than adjourn this meeting, we can postpone it till we can get the 3 of us together. And that could even be later today. If we can go, we can catch Robbie or we can catch John.
Okay.
I have no idea where John is. As chairman, I apologize. I normally make sure I'm gonna have a quorum. Minutes will postpone. You want to give us an update on the address posting project?
Yeah, basically, we sent out that flyer in the utility bill, and that went out last month, I believe, and then we got out, I think, 90% of the final kind of courtesy notices.
Mhm.
The plan is to start surveying the properties next month, and
In the A section?
yeah, in that first zone that we identified. I also have another project that just sort of came online that may sort of help. It may, but I'm working with the police department in their next generation 911, and they're going to need to have their addressing assigned in the system. So there may be some overlap there that I can kind of combine those 2 projects into one and get that so that not only are we good in the field with address posting, but we have the accurate information in the CAD system, the dispatch system to dispatch. So that'll I think help because we can kind of verify if that's the correct address that we have in the system as well as what's showing up in the field. So other than that, no other updates to that.
All right, now we,
I see
Somebody's coming in.
yay. Thank you, John. John, to bring you up to speed real quick, we postponed, until you got here officially, having an official meeting. We can now call that official meeting to order and ask for approval of the minutes.
Make a motion.
Peter, Peter,
Yeah, make a motion that we put in the minutes.
adopt the minutes. John, in second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor? Minutes are approved. John, we're talking about the old, in the old business, the comprehensive plan update. That I had talked to Robbie and Joe both, and Joe had a lot of praise for all the work that's gone into it, and said he saw no changes that they needed to be made to the final version, which there are only 6 copies of this version, which is why I put the dates in them. And this is the version that will go, if you have any changes, do you have any, you made?
I just had one.
What page?
If it screws up a page, I'm not gonna, page 67. I haven't noticed in there, it says control prescribed burns where particular trouble spots have been identified. You're never gonna see a controlled burn on Beach Mountain. First off, you can't burn within the city limits. And second off, with all the residential and everything like that, it's what they do out west, they do in big forest areas to clear brush. And it would be way too dangerous to do it up there. And the more residents you get, the less area you can burn anyway. You can leave it in there if you want, it just won't. Just one thing won't.
And you said that was on page 67?
Page 67, PSG 2, P2, S2, under strategy, actually the one below it. And we are doing wildfire training as we speak. Matter of fact, if anybody wants to come out and see us do some training, Wednesday night, we will be out at Wild Iris doing a simulated forest fire.
Right, and what are you saying to change?
Just take it out.
Take this control.
Just take control burn out. The fire breaks,
I
that's
don't have any problem with that. Do you?
taking it out. You just,
Yeah,
That's easy strike.
yeah.
yeah.
I don't think it
it's
changes the
fine,
paging
unless
at all.
the board has some objection to it.
And it cleans up some things that we've been cleaning up in the book, so.
Okay.
So we're gonna strike P2S2?
Just the whole strategy, right?
Yeah, that whole strategy on that. The rest of it's fine.
The only, okay.
I had one more, but it was just a.
Well, I had one on page 5, okay?
You, page 5?
Yeah.
I had another one back here too, so, but it was not a.
And it was like this in the old book.
Yeah.
It
I think
was.
that's-
This is not the way, it has to do with Beach Mountain today. Beach Mountain is governed by a council manager form of, okay? And each new council member is elected at large to a 2-year term. That needs to be rewritten as the way it really is done. Is elected with the top 2 vote getters getting a 4-year term and the third vote getter receiving a 2-year term. And that will make that correct in the way we do it. And I looked back to see, it was even in the old book that way, and we just missed that as part of the update.
Do you need to put in there that the town council elects their mayor? That was one of the things I saw. I didn't know if it made any difference or not. Town council elects the mayor. Or how do you say, appoints the mayor, or?
Oh, no, elects.
You're right,
Elects.
the council chooses the mayor and vice mayor.
Right, and it's not,
What's it say?
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Mayor is.
It says Beech Mountain is governed by a council manager form of local government. The town council is comprised of a 5-member board, including the position of mayor. Elections are held annually, which should say biannually. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In which the town voting residents elect their representatives for the governance of the town.
The paragraph just needs
Yeah,
some
it
cleaning
just
up
doesn't-
and fixing.
Yeah.
It's an easy fix. Okay.
I mean, it's nothing like
Do you have
adding.
any other, pending those changes, the chair will accept a nomination for a proposal to send the comprehensive plan to the
Kim,
council.
the biannual is wrong. Biannual is twice a year.
Okay, I knew it was not quite right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Semi-annual,
twice a year.
No, it's twice a year.
Just,
biannual.
but
Five
it's
would be-
every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Mr. Chairman, the actual word is biennial, biennial. Biennial means occurring every 2 years.
Right.
Mhm.
Or just put every 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's always been a question, if, when people read this, it's easy to go to, this is, how do you elect the mayor? It's the highest
We did.
vote, I know, but that was just one thing I was thinking of, and it's not what people think it would be.
I mean, it's just fine detail, and, you know, you read it, and you read it, and you read it.
Mhm.
And every time you read it, you
I
find
don't know
something
more
that
what it is. John, what did you do with it?
you got it, John?
Yeah, I think I had one more, but it was another one of those little frivolous little things.
Okay. We'll let the 5-year group from now catch that one.
Yeah, let them catch
How
that.
could they miss that 3 times?
Yeah, let them catch it.
They'll find out it's pretty easy. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to move this document.
Yeah, I'll
Council?
second it. I know I can't find the thing I wanted to do.
Well, I can't make the motion. I have to
Oh,
see.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by John, seconded by Peter, that the 2019 version of the long-range comprehensive plan be presented to council for adoption at the November meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
You want these back, Pete? Pete,
Sir?
you need to put back or these are for us to keep?
I'd say that I'm gonna keep mine, just because it's the one we did. I've got the date of it on there. I'd probably save having another one printed. Because I don't know how much it costs to print these, but there will be,
A nickel.
there will need to be, nickel, several hard copies.
Well, if that one, like on that one page I had, if it's just a matter of change the page, change the page.
Or write it in the way
You write it in.
Or when you get a new one.
As long as the master copy.
That's right. And this is the hard copy that represents the master copy. All right. Address posting project we talked about, update the progress, plan of action. Any other business? I do have one thing I would like to bring up, that now that we've finished this project and next year's planning board will be looking at things, one of the areas that I had several people say, well, that's fine, you have this big plan, what do they do, throw it on the shelf? And I said, no, we don't, actually. I said, there are a certain few people who make sure that that plan is kind of guidelined and followed. And so looking at it, we just reviewed and redid the land use planning section of it. In there, there's wording that indicates that we need to have a long-range plan for the undeveloped areas. We've identified where all those undeveloped areas are, but we've never developed a plan for saying how do we want them used in guided by this long-range plan. I think one of the, rather than reactionary, a proactionary plan should be proposed, and that ought to be a section of the comprehensive plan that's looked at next, is developing that plan for the undeveloped large tracts that are potentially could be subdivided.
But every
I
couple of
think
years,
you're gonna
about every
see
couple of
that,
years we
well,
do that.
Sir?
Every couple of years, we change some zonings and stuff like that.
I know, but this is developing like, okay, here's this huge tract. You get the little tract they keep talking about down, that would connect into North Hickory. It's undivided, it's just one piece that could be subdivided. The new, presentation we had for the Cherry Gap Extension area, how does that impact planning board needs to be proactive in planning for how that should be developed. What would be acceptable, what's not acceptable. So you've got it already on paper, so a developer comes along and says, well, I want to da-da-da-da. Say, well, you probably get better results if you proposed a compact area of housing and a big green space. That fits with the way this document reads. And that's the area that, putting teeth into the plan, I think the future planning board needs to be looking at. Just one of, projects that come along. That's kind of my farewell speech on this whole program, but you catch my drift on it?
Yeah.
Rather than let it sit there and then a reactionary crowd comes along out.
Do we have much property out there that is unzoned?
We don't, I mean, it's all zoned, but there's a few larger tracts that are undeveloped. I know during our meetings, we had a lot of people suggest a small area plan for the West Bowl or something like that. We could do something similar for the larger tracts of land, kind of come up with some ideas of what would be the best use of that area, or would fit with the rest of the town.
I mean, some for green space purposes are already protected, and they're already subdivided lots, but the whole thing is protected by something Fred did several years ago.
Land trust.
And those are, land trust, and those are things that future board needs to be looking at.
I think it's gonna have to be readdressed, at certain intervals. Simple fact that you're gonna have different people wanting to do different things, and you're gonna have to address each one of them individually.
But
So
if
it
you have
falls-
this
So it
long
falls
range,
into our comprehensive plan.
this is, hey, this is the way we envision this town to be. If you don't follow this, what the hell, we wasted a year and a half of work on it. And if that's your guide, it's time to, look at those areas of potentiality that could come up and say, doesn't fit the long-range plan. You can head off some change at the pass that you don't want. You can direct some change that you do want. And it's all philosophical, but it's stuff that, if you pre-plan, instead of wait for a reaction, you're a lot better off. Sorry to have diatribed, dissertated on conceptual ideas, but, all right. Do we have anything else to come before this meeting?
Mr. Chairman, just,
Yes.
do you want to update anything on the address? And we've been talking to the folks who do the barricades about coming up.
Oh,
You want to say anything about that?
yeah, we did, and part of that is we're trying to identify some people that could, install the numbers. And we talked to Barricade, who's doing the trash bins now. For a lot of people, they have come up with a few sort of different cost points for doing that for people as well. So we're going to be able to give people that resource when they call or something.
So they're getting by the contractor, right?
Go ahead, Tim.
I'm just saying, to follow what he says, even though that's just optional, giving people, maybe they could come to the next planning board meeting and show those options to the planning board.
Yeah, we can try to get them to come in.
I think it's beyond the planning board now. It's show them to your office.
If you didn't want to see them, I just thought it might be good if you wanted to be more familiar, but it's up to you guys if you want to see them or not. You don't have to approve them, because they're complying with the ordinance, but.
That's why I don't think we can get you in there and micromanage it.
If you're good with not seeing them, we're good with moving on. I guess the second thing was, any update on the census training or anything?
No, I've got an email into the person that we met with to see if they're going to do any training, but I haven't heard back on that yet.
Did we get any volunteers from the community to the response?
No, I think we were going to put that on the social media.
We need to probably do another postcard
Yeah, we do.
or Sean put it in, maybe we can do a mail. When do we have to have them by? Is it April we have to have them by?
I don't know for sure. I mean, I know that they're just wanting us to be able to provide a resource for.
We'll find out when we need them by, because if we put it in like the utility bill notices, we probably want to do it, wait till January, if we don't wait until April, maybe 60 days before, either January or February. Because if we do it right now, I'm afraid it'd get lost if there's nothing for them to do. So we'll get the dates, and we'll probably do a flyer asking for volunteers to help. We seem to be the flyers.
Well, when is that meeting scheduled that was going to be in Banner Elk for the communities to learn what exactly the Census Department wanted from us?
Yeah, that's the one I'm waiting on a response to see if they're going to do some sort of training or really to get clarification on what all they want from us. If it's just my understanding from our meeting was they just want us to provide a local level of support so that people know to respond to their the census. But I guess they feel like that the federal government is less trusted than sort of a local government or a local person, so they just want us to be a sort of a resource there.
Well, And again, there will be somebody assigned to do the physical census.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how big an area they get, but it's a house to house.
Yeah.
And up here, you get so many people, you know, it's like, okay, here, census person, here's the people who really live here.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't get an answer, yeah, you need to come back so you can count this family of 3. And then, you know, we've got some that live here that are, this is their address, and we've got a bunch here that their address is their parents' home still. Okay. Does that answer your question on that, Tim? Good. Anything else to come, sir?
I was wondering, you know, the Shane Park deal, are we gonna be looking at it, the planning and what we're gonna be doing down there?
I think that's Parks and Rec. I think that's already been assigned.
Mr. Chairman,
Now,
if
go
you
ahead,
could just
Tim.
address that. It's zoned appropriate, the only thing that was changed was for camping, so as far as the planning is on, it should come back for the planning board. I mean, right now, there's a joint committee working on the, engineering of the design. We actually have Sean Roy and I have a meeting today from 12 to 1:30, with the engineers. You have an overall design that was done almost 2 years ago by the design committee that Fred was on, and, once we meet the engineers, we'll bid it out, but as far as for official approvals, it will not come back to the planning board. Now, if you've got questions, I'll do, you know, my best to answer your question.
Yeah, I
I'm
heard
wondering
there's
what, go ahead, please.
a water feature. What exactly is this water feature?
The water feature is I guess, let me get my, let me do some. I'll do this order. The water feature is a well slash horizontal running splash pad kind of thing. It actually is, we actually have a contractor now, we've got to sign the paperwork, MBI, the same people who are doing the Public Works building, and so hopefully that will get started. I'm a little bit concerned about the cold weather coming. I don't know if they'll start before Thanksgiving or it'll be in the springtime. That water feature is part of the utility projects. It's on Shane Park, but it's basically a utility item. So, but it'll be the first thing that's constructed.
So this is gonna be a play that the kids get into.
Correct.
Physically get into.
They can get into it. It's not anything like getting into their waist or something. It's going to be more, you wade into it and that kind of thing, splash water.
Right.
And you can do that in that area. You can do it into the creek. You just can't swim in the reservoir. So even right now, the water coming down naturally, right where the bridge is down there, either side of that,
Right.
I think once you get down to where the fire pit is, we actually talked to the Parks and Rec about putting a sign saying, no entry into the water beyond this point. And so we'll do that, so keep people out of the lake proper.
Now, this is gonna be, this is my question on, thanks for bringing that up. Is it gonna be a self-contained unit where, they recirculate their own water?
They will not recirculate water because that unit supplies the creek anyway, so it's a function, so it's not really wasting water. That well was pumped there. It's not permitted for drinking water, but it's permitted to pump water into the lake. So it's not a waste of water. I mean, it's got to be used so much anyway. Our plans are to like have it turn on once the water feature's there from like either 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. shut off. And so it's a utility function that's decorative and also serves as a play function.
Okay, how are you gonna stop unsanitary runoff?
Now, unsanitary runoff, I guess what I'm saying is we're not considering that unsanitary runoff. It's not treated water. It's not gray water from laundries or anything like that. It's more or less no worse than you walking in the creek now.
Okay, my point is I've run swimming pools and hot tubs for quite a few years.
Yeah.
And little kids don't seem to find the bathrooms. So,
Well, the audience commented, animals have things as well. I mean, we'll have to police it. If somebody, makes a mistake, we'll clean it up just like we do anywhere else now.
Well, like I said, that'd be great. How you gonna
Yeah.
clean up somebody pees in the, see, these are just things I'm looking at because you're putting, if I'm not mistaken, you got Genesis for about the same thing. And, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm not defending Genesis in any way, shape, or form. But if you're gonna have an unsanitary runoff, and like I said, kids pee and poop in pools. You put a kid in there with a diaper on, guess what?
Well, there won't be a pool, it's just gonna be a creek that's running.
Exactly. The same
Well-
thing in the creek that the water's
Well,
going into.
I can-
It doesn't-
But, yeah, do you
Whether
think
it's
this is
upstream
gonna
or
hurt,
downstream,
we're
water
encouraging
quality.
this?
It shouldn't hurt the water quality. If we need to do testing, we will. We'll actually eventually we'll have bathrooms on site to use too, and the bathrooms are within
No
walking
point
distance.
testing the well, it's going into the lake.
Yeah.
Before treatment anyway.
Yeah.
That's a waste of money.
I know I have one other gentleman who had a lot of concern about it. I won't bring his name up. But as far as now, I mean, we've had fishermen down there for years. We have multiple fishermen. Have they done things to the water? Probably. So that's not caused a problem. I don't see this adding any extra than what's already
As it turns
done.
out, you gotta dirty it up to be able to clean it up anyways.
So,
If you take that water right now and try and, you've almost, in order to pay, the damn regulations are so tight that it's hard to clean up clean water.
well, all the water that goes into the reservoir now.
Because you can't get past the percentage of how much you gotta clean.
Yeah, all our surface water now that goes in is treated by the lake. I appreciate your concerns. I know it sounds like I'm trying to minimize them, but we'll watch it as a problem. But between dilution and other things,
There's bigger.
we're not thinking you'll have any problems with that. I worked down at the coast before, and you had more problems from people's animals pooping and peeing in the water, birds peeing in the water. A lot of times, if you ever go to the coast, you see those high fecal counts. That was because of animals or storms. Okay, let's say, for example, we have a flood.
Usually it's storm drain.
You'll get more bad water from floods, heavy rains going in the creek than you do these, a potential situation you described, children or that kind of thing. Anyway, we'll watch it.
We're off agenda anyways.
Yeah. So, but anyway, anything else about the questions? Right now, the committee, as far as what they're putting down
I do
there.
have one question for you, Tim, but I'll wait till the meeting is closed.
Okay, we're actually getting ready to bid out, the parking lot, the bathrooms, lighting, campsites, and I think that's about it, as for what we're gonna have down there, and the water features, except, so we're gonna have two separate projects going at the same time. But we're hoping that by springtime, by next July, August, those items will be in and it'll be a fully functional park. Later on, we'll add the low ropes course and other things as necessary. We're gonna clean up the pump station right now, make it look more attractive. So that's some things that are going on, just for your information.
So the pump station is for the sewage from the restrooms?
Well, no, the pump station's always been for the main sewer line goes there, so that pump station's always, but the one that's down now, we're just gonna make it pretty, we're gonna probably paint it green, move the fencing and make it more decorative so it doesn't stand out so much.
So the restrooms will go straight into our sewer? There won't be a holding tank that we have to pump out?
No. Now, is there a grinder pump and then pump it back to the main? There might be a grinder pump, but it's not gonna be a septic storage.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other business come for this meeting, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second. Made motion.
Motion by Peter, seconded by John. Planning board meeting is adjourned. Tim, my question is, how much backlash have you had because council did not, well, I have to ask